Yes, you have read the title correctly. I'm going to be using the magical powers of Photoshop to hopefully mock up what I want my MX-5 to look like in the future. So I'll be selecting a body kit, alloys, suspension, and other bolt-on parts like spoilers and arches to hopefully mock up what I want my car to look like. This is something I've wanted to do for quite a long time, so I thought, why not do it today? I know obviously planning out a build for a car can take a very long time, and I really think photoshopping the car in advance could really make the whole process a lot smoother down the line. So without further ado, let's get straight into photoshopping this car. Okay, so first up we are looking at body kits, and the first body kit that I'm looking at is the Deuce kit, or the Juice kit, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but honestly, this would not be an MX-5 mod video if I did not show off this iconic kit. Obviously, it's probably the most popular kit in the UK for an MX-5. It's cheap, it's reliable, it looks pretty good for the price, but I don't think I'm going to be going for this kit. I think you see it all the time. Like I say, it's one of the main body kits people slap onto MX-5s in the UK. And as well, I'm not a massive fan of how sort of like flat and low it looks. It's quite low at the sides. It's just not really what I'm looking for to put on my car, so I think I'm going to pass on it. Now, the second body kit that I've been looking at is this one here. It's sort of like a Rocket Bunny style kit. Obviously, very, very big arches, very wide, sort of fat looking low down. I do think this is really cool. I am a massive fan of the arches as well. However, there's something about it that I don't like. It kind of looks like a Mark III with the way the arches are coming out so wide. So I'm not that sure on it, to be honest. It's quite cool, but again, it's not really the style that I'm looking for. Now, the third and final kit is the Destroy or Die Mark I kit. Now, this, in my opinion, is probably the best looking MX-5 body kit that you can actually get. I actually haven't seen very many of these on MX-5s. I could be completely wrong, but me personally, I haven't seen a lot of them, and I've never actually seen one in person, but honestly, I think that looks amazing. It's very round, very sleek. It's also like kind of high up off the ground. It's not too low. I really like the way the side skirts look. And then obviously if you look at the back bumper too, I think that looks absolutely lovely. Okay, so now that we've chosen the body kit, I'm going to copy this photo exactly of this red MX-5, put it into Photoshop and try and change the colour to British Racing Green. Probably not going to go well because I am colourblind, but I do want the end product of this mock-up to look like my car in the end process and basically be able to compare of what I wanted the car to look like to what the car actually ended up looking like. Okay, so this is as close as I can get to British Racing Green. I'm aware it's not that close, it's not ideal, but all things considered, the fact that I'm colourblind and I don't really know how to use Photoshop well, I actually think this has come out quite decent. Now, as much as I actually do like this body kit, there are one or two changes that I do want to make to it. First off, I do not like the hardtop spoiler here, and I also don't like the spoiler they've chosen to put on the car. I actually do prefer the OEM spoiler that Mazda put on the car that I actually have on mine currently. And as well, I'm not a massive fan of the hood vent. So I'm going to sort all of these issues out now and make sure the car looks like how I want it to look like when it's really done. Okay, so as you can see, I have managed to clean up the car. The bonnet is now looking smooth. There's no rear spoiler on the hardtop. And also you can see the very poorly photoshopped spoiler on the rear. Now, honestly, this is what I want the car to look like. I want it to be a bit more streamlined, more slick. I don't really like the fact that if I have a naturally aspirated engine, it's got lots of hood vents and stuff like that, because then it just it looks like rice in my opinion. It doesn't really make sense. So I think keeping it all very smooth and very shut off looks better for my purpose. And of course, I'm a massive fan of having the OEM spoiler. I'm not a fan of big wings on MX-5s unless they're like time attack cars or track cars. Obviously, I'm not doing any of that with my car, so it doesn't make sense to have a big spoiler on it. Now, the next thing I'm going to be moving on to is the alloys. Now, I have 3 alloys I'm going to be looking at now, and I'm hopefully going to be choosing one that suits this car. First up, we have these dark anodized bronze bronze JR12s. Now these I think will go pretty well with the car. I think bronze and British Racing Green are a very good mix. I do think it keeps the sort of classic look that I want to keep with the car. I do like the lip that goes around the inside. I do also like the way the spokes go into the center of the wheel. I think these are very nice, but they are similar to the next alloys I'm looking at, which are the JR3s. There's not so much of a lip round here, and I do like the darker bronze color, I will be honest, but there's something about that outer lip on the JR12s I do like a little bit better. And now finally we have the JR12s in a different color. Now obviously these will be a pain to keep clean. That's the main reason why I'm not really wanting to go for these, but I do think they would suit the car very well. I like the black and I like the silver. I think it really works, and I do think it would work well on a British Racing Green coloured car. So all things considered, the price of these alloys is basically the exact same, so I think I would like to go for the JR3s. I think they might suit the car a little bit better, especially colour wise, so we're going to be going for these and photoshopping them onto the car now. Okay, so I've done a very crude cut of these wheels, basically taking all the background and stuff out, so I'm going to try and put them onto the car and see how they look. Okay, so we finally have the alloys on the car now. Obviously, I'm not amazing at this. It doesn't look exactly right, but you know what? I'm quite happy with it. I do think the British Racing Green and the bronze does actually go quite well together, and I do like the shape of the alloys on the car. I think it suits it pretty well. I think it goes with the body kit as well, so I think I will choose those alloys. Now the next thing I do want to do to my car is have wide arches on it. Obviously, as you can see on this kit, there is no wide arches, but I think I can actually make it work. Obviously, you get kits of wide arches or wide body kits for MX-5s on likes of eBay, so I'm going to have a look on eBay and see if I can find something that will fit this car and fit the vision that I'm going for. So yes, this is basically what I'm wanting to look at, literally just something I can bolt onto the side of the car and then use wheel spacers to bring the wheels out a little bit. I think it'll make the car have a bit more of a lower and aggressive look, while still retaining the nice sleek look that the MX-5 has naturally. This hasn't really turned out good, but I hope you can see what I'm trying to go for. This looks awful. I'll be honest, this looks absolutely rubbish, but as you can see, I kind of want to have the arches coming out and then have the wheels sort of fill that gap of where the arch obviously expands out from the body, well, extends out from the body rather. I've not managed to quite capture that in this Photoshop, but oh well, I gave it my best shot. But yeah, this is essentially what I want the car to look like. I do want it lowered as well. I will need coilover suggestions from everyone watching at home if you obviously have an MX-5, if you put on coilovers. What I ideally want to do is have it on sort of like stock feeling suspension, so it's still soft, it still feels like it rides nicely, but it's just lower down. I have heard that Meister R coilovers are probably the best for that. I could be completely wrong, so if you have better suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. Just don't say max speeding rods, because I know they're cheap, I know they're awful, and I'm not putting them anywhere near my MX-5. So there we have it. I finally have a vision set out for my MX-5 and what I want to do in the future with it. Obviously, there is so much to cover, so if you want to subscribe and follow along, please do. And I know as well there's a massive community for these little guys out there, and all of you have a lot of opinions, so I want to hear them. If you have any suggestions on coilover types or anything else to do with the car, make sure to let me know down below. As far as future video goes, like I said, all of this stuff does need done, but that'll be done gradually. But I do have a limited slip differential that's ready to go in the car that is long overdue. And on top of that, I have much smaller things that I need to fix on the car, such as the ABS light always being on and little things that need repainted too. So I can assure you there is not a shortage of any content anytime soon. But I'm just going to call the video quits here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all did enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.